Yeah, okay, so let's draw the figure for the ellipse, figure 11.20. So let's understand first the ellipse part now. So ellipse is a set of all the points in the plane. Sum of whose distances from the two fixed points in the plane is constant. Okay, remember that we have the two focus here, f1 and f2, correct? Now what is this f1 and f2? We'll try to understand. Two fixed points. So earlier we had in the parabola, it was only one focus, right? You had a directrix, you had only the focus. So you know, the distance from the directrix was the constant on all the points on the parabola, correct? Now here in this case, the focus we have is the f1 and f2. We'll try to understand, what does the f1 and f2 indicates to it. First draw the figure. These two focus, that means they are called the foci, plural form of the focus.
Okay.
Okay. Now the constant, which is the sum of the distance of the point on the ellipse from the two fixed points, is always greater than the distance between the two fixed points. We'll try to understand what does it mean now here. Okay. So till now, just understand that when you draw the figure 11.20, so what we are saying is P1F plus P1F2, P1F1 plus P1F2 is equal to P2F1 plus P2F2 excuse me, is equal to P3F1 plus P3F2. So any point on the ellipse, the sum of the distance of any point from the f1 and the f2 is always constant. Okay, meaning is any point you take on the ellipse, first we take the point that is P1. Okay, we'll try to understand the main funda of this part. Okay, first we'll consider the point P1. So this is the P1. We'll consider the P1 first, and then we'll find out the sum or the distance. Okay, so first point, and we'll calculate the distance. This is the distance from two focus. Okay, for each point we'll calculate. I'll just send you this part so that you understand what I'm talking right now.
Okay, sir.
Got it now? So, so we are talking about the first point on the ellipse is basically P1. So what is the distance? From first focus, distance is P1F1. Second distance is called P1F2. So we are talking about the sum of two distances. P1F1 plus P1F2. This is the constant for this is constant for all the points, same value. Got it?
Yes, I got it.
This becomes the constant. I'll just tell you this part also. Any point we need to take. So this part is constant. Okay, so I'll just send it to you so that you have the clear idea what I'm talking about. This is the basic funda of ellipse now. So any points when we consider it. So now second point, if we consider second point, what will be distance of P2 from the F1? P2 F1. And from the F2, P2 F2. Correct? And similarly we have from the P3 point. So you got first point, second point, and third point, right? First point, this is the second point, and this is the third point, isn't it? So
Yeah.
all the 3 points have the sum of the distances from the two focus is always constant. This is what we want to understand. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay, any questions, any doubts in this part now? No problem. So now
No,
let's go to
sir.
the
Yeah.
figure 11.21 now. Let's draw the ellipse for the figure 11.21 and we'll try to understand the some of the terminologies in this part. Right?
Okay, sir.
So we defined already, we came across the two focus right now. We understood what happens to all the points, what is
Yes, sir.
constant on all the points on the ellipse right now. Now our goal is to understand how to divide the ellipse in the multiple quadrants, and let's name the quadrant also, right? And
Okay.
let's give them technical names for it. So midpoint of the line joining the segment between two foci is called the center of the ellipse. So now once you draw the figure 11.21, you will understand how the center will look like. So you have the two focus f1 and f2, whatever we discussed here, right? Two focus f1
Yeah.
and f2, we discussed the focus, correct? Now imagine this is like a Cartesian coordinate. Okay, so this is the Cartesian coordinate, and so it can have the upward parabola and the or the downward not parabola, sorry. So it can be the ellipse can lie horizontally on the x-axis, or it can vertically lie on the y-axis. Got it?
Okay.
So
Yes, sir.
we'll have the naming also with that. Okay. So basically, let's understand now the distance, the midpoint between the two focus f1 and f2 is called the center. That is very clear, center. And
Yes.
so it looks like egg shaped, oval shape. Ellipse is basically the oval shaped, isn't it? Ellipse is the oval shaped, right? This is how the ellipse will look. So now midpoint between the two focus f1 and f2 is called the center. That is O, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now there is a 2 points now, which is there's a 2 points which are cutting on the x-axis. That's A and the B. Can you see that? A and B. So this A and B, the line segment is basically the line which is cutting the ellipse in the two equal halves. So basically this line becomes a symmetrical, right, for the lower half and the upper half, right? So AB is bigger than CD, isn't it? CD is on the y-axis and AB is on the x-axis. So AB, whichever the bigger term, that's called the major axis. So here AB is bigger, isn't it?
Okay.
So that's called the major axis, because it's major axis.
Okay.
So distance between the AB is larger than the distance between the CD. So
Yeah.
basically AB becomes the major axis and CD becomes the minor axis. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
So vertices are nothing but the end points on the major axis are called the vertices of the ellipse. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Excellent. Perfect. Now in the same diagram, just upgrade with 11.22 now. We'll try to define what is called the A and what is called the C part in this part. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Let's understand the same part now, so that we are clear about what
Yeah,
is
one
the major axis.
I just saw this one.
Across what is the line which is symmetrical for the major axis and for the minor axis. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll calculate basically the distance, because whichever the symmetrical parts are there, that will take it as a A, B, B, and C, C. Right? Now let's identify that part now. Okay. Now, let's give some naming convention to it. So we start with on the major axis, from the on which is y-axis, which is symmetry to the x-axis on region. The major axis basically your AO point, right? So let's mention, because AO is same as OB, isn't it? AO will be same as BO, because it's symmetry, isn't it? And CO will be same as DO, isn't it? Correct. Now we'll give the name to this. We define it as a, let's say, distance of the vertex is A from the center is A. Okay. Then the distance between the AO and OB will be equal to A. So, but AB will be, total distance will be 2A, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So total distance will be,
Yes, sir.
yeah, total distance will be given as 2A. You know, 2A. And similarly, the vertices, the C and D, the points on the y-axis, correct? So that means also the CO will be same as DO. Correct, no?
Okay.
CO also will be same as DO.
Yes, sir.
So if we define the distance between CO is B, then OD is also B only.
B.
Correct? Now,
Yeah.
two focus are basically equidistant from the center O. So both sides the distance is C, and is also called the total distance between the two focus will be 2C. Correct? So we just gave the name right now. Now we'll find out the relation between the A, B, C, okay, and the X, Y on any point on the ellipse. Is it fine till now?
Yes, sir.
Till now is clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Any questions, any doubt till now?
No, sir.
Okay, excellent. Right, so we defined the semi-major axis. The length of semi-major axis is A, and the semi-minor. This vertical is called the semi-minor axis. Horizontal is called the semi-major axis. Clear? Now let's go to the relation between the semi-major axis, semi-minor axis, and the distance between the focus from the center of the ellipse. Fine. Let's try to understand now this part. Now, how do we do that? Let's understand. Draw the figure 11.23 now.
Okay, sir.
Figure 11.23, just draw it, and now we'll try to understand the relation between the everything, A, B, and the C part, isn't it?
Sorry, sir?
Yeah, figure 11.23 now. Let's draw the figure
Yeah,
11.23. Now we'll find out the relation of the ellipse. Relation between the terms for the ellipse part now.
Yeah.
Correct? Now, let's
Yes, sir.
let me just draw it also here. Have you drawn the figure?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Now, let's understand. Let's take one point called Q. Okay. Let's take one point called Q on the ellipse right now. And we know that point. This basically on the perpendicular line on the y-axis. We take it as the point called Q. So we know that Q is distance, basically what is the QO distance is B, isn't it?
Yeah.
QO distance is B, and distance between the focus is 2C, so OF1 will be C and OF2 will be C, correct?
Yeah.
So Q exactly lies on the minor axis, right? So basically, what will be the distance F1Q? Let's find out what is the distance between F1Q now. F1Q in the triangle F1QO, you can apply the Pythagoras theorem. So F1Q can be written as B square plus C square under root, right?
Whole root.
Whole root.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Q distance from the F2 also will be square root of B square plus C square.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now we say that so F1 Q. Now the Q distance which we calculated right now from the F1 and F2 is nothing but square root of B square plus C square, right?
Yeah.
So what will be the total distance, sum of the distances of the Q from the two focus will be how much? F1Q plus F2Q will be given as square root of B square plus C square, again then square root. So it will become the twice of square root of B square plus C square, isn't it?
Yeah.
You getting?
Yes, sir. Getting.
Okay, good, cool. So 2 points we are considering, So this is the point 1 and this is the point 2. I'll just tell you, I'll just send you this part so that you understand better now. So first point we got it now. Second point we are analyzing, because both the points, sum of distance from the F1 and F2 should be equal, isn't it? So 2 points we have considered on the ellipse. First is the point Q. Second point is P. Correct? Now what is the distance between the P from the focus F1 and F2? What is the PF1? See,
PF1 would be
so
A plus C.
How much it will be? A plus C, correct?
A plus C.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What is the distance between the PF2 now?
A minus C.
Excellent. Add these two together now. So basically here also the sum of the point P, sum of the distance of the point P from the F1 and F2 also will be constant, correct?
Yeah.
So how much you will get?
2A.
Excellent. So F1P or F2P, right? F1P, correct. So you got F1P plus F2P will be how much equal to 2A, isn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Perfect. Now we got the two distances now. Let's try to equate these two. Now these two distances has to be equal now, isn't it? So 2A has to be equal to twice of square root of B square plus C square. Now equate it now. What you will get? You will get the relation between the A, B and C.
Okay, yeah. So 4 root B square plus C square equals 2A.
Correct. Excellent. So basically you will get it when you equated it. You should get is the relation between the ABC you got is C will be equal to square root of a square minus b square, isn't it? Or a square is equal
Yeah.
to b square plus c square. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Till then the relation is clear. Relation between the semi-major axis, semi-minor axis, and the distance between the focus.
Clear, sir.
Clear? So this you remember that, okay? So a square is equal to b square plus c square. Now we'll go to the special case of the ellipse now. Special case of the ellipse now. Draw the figure 11.24 now.
Okay, sir. No.
Here we can make easily, say ellipse can become circle now. Let's understand how it will become circle now.
Yeah.
Okay? Now look at this, Vijay. So here you have the equation C is equal to a square minus b square, isn't it?
Yeah.
C is equal to square root of a square minus b square. Now C is nothing but the distance, 2C. Basically 2C is nothing but the distance between the two focus, F1 and F2. Now when F1 and F2 coincides with each other, when F1 and F2 coincides with each other, so what will be the value of C?
C would be 0, right?
Excellent. Coincides with each other, then the C will be equal to 0.
Yeah.
Will be equal to 0. Correct? Now in this case, what will happen now in this case? C equal to 0. Now equate it. Now a square minus b square equal to 0 now. What will get now?
A square equals b square.
Excellent. So a is equal to b then.
Yeah.
So a is equal to b means what? That means semi-major axis
Minor axis and major axis are same.
are equal. That means no more ellipse. Basically it becomes like a radius for you. Above, vertical axis and the horizontal axis both are equal. That means it's like a circle.
Yeah.
A is equal to b is nothing but the radius. So it becomes a circle now. So this, when C becomes equal to 0, it becomes a special case of ellipse that's nothing but a circle.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Clear? Understood?
Clear, sir.
Next. Now now in this case, let's try to understand the A is equal to this part, right? Which one? Yeah. Next case is that when B is equal to 0, that means we have the semi-minor axis, correct? Is becoming 0.
Yeah.
The B part is becoming 0. When you say let's put B equal to 0. When you make B equal to 0, what will happen in this case now? C will be equal to A.
Yeah.
Right? Now C is equal to A means what? So you don't have you have only the major segment, right? So it just becomes a line segment. Can you see that 11.25? So you don't have the B is becoming 0. So you don't have B. So basically what is that? A and B. B0 is only A. So you have F1 and F2 line segment only.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Now we'll go to the eccentricity now. Is this part clear? Special case is clear to you? Similarly, we can
Yes,
do the
sir.
A
Yeah.
part also equal to 0. Then also it will become the line segment only. When you make A segment 0, A is 0, then only B will be there. So again, it will be line segment on the y-axis, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you make the C 0, then it will become the B only, isn't it?
Yeah.
So again, it will be vertical line segment or horizontal line segment based on the A value of 0 or the B value 0. Clear?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay, now we'll come to another term in the ellipse that's called eccentricity. That's another term, right? Eccentricity, how do you define eccentricity of the ellipse? Is the ratio of distance from the center of the ellipse to one of the foci and to one of the vertices of the ellipse is denoted by eccentricity. E is equal to C by A. Write down this part. Eccentricity is most important term right now because for the conic section this plays an important role.
Yes, sir.
Eccentricity E is nothing but equal to C by A. So as the name justifies, so is the ratio of the distance from the center of the ellipse to one of the foci. So basically C by A. So distance, you need the ratio of OF1
The
to
distance between the foci and the
OR.
major axis.
Correct? OF1 to
Yeah.
OR. So remember that E value is by default in the ellipse case. So in the ellipse case, and we can just write down like this. I'll just write it and send it to you so that you can visualize the thing very clearly. So E is equal to OF1 divided by OR. Okay. So let's understand this part. Clear? Now what do you think OF1? OF1 is lesser than OR, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what will be the value of E now? Will the E will be greater than 1 or it will be lesser than 1?
Sorry, sir?
See, OF1 is lesser than OR. So that means numerator is lesser than the denominator.
Yeah.
When the numerator is lesser than denominator, what will the value of E then? Is it greater than 1 or less than 1?
It will be less than 1.
Excellent. It will be lesser than 1. Absolutely correct. Now, let's go with the next part now, right? Okay. Now, draw the figure 11.26a part. Now, we'll come to the special standard equations of the ellipse now.
Huh.
Now, we understood the theoretical aspects of the ellipse right now. We'll go with the equation of the ellipse now.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so how will we derive the equation of the ellipse? Let's try to understand. Figure 11.26. So everything remains the same. If we just focus, we have whenever we talk about the ellipse, we'll have the major axis, minor axis, and the center and the focuses.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's understand this part now. Yeah, so you drawn the figure 11.26a part, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So here in this part, you see the is oval shaped, and the AB distance, right? So you have the A, you have the distance A part. Okay, I'll just tell you, I'll write it and send it to you this part so that you understand this distance. Okay,
Okay, sir.
normal semi-major axis and semi-minor axis distance I am just making so that you are clear what is the equation of the ellipse now.
Okay.
Now on the semi-major axis, so x-axis on the A is the distance of the vertices from the center O. So it will be given as x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1.
Yeah.
X square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. Right?
Yes, sir.
So x by major axis, y by minor axis. So this you remember. And x square by a square, this is the standard form of the ellipse. X square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. We'll derive it and we'll come to know. Now draw the figure 11.26b part. Now,
Yes, sir.
yeah, ellipse is in the vertical axis now. Major axis becomes the vertical axis now. Isn't it? Now this is distance is very clear now.
Okay, sir, done.
Done now. Now here
Yeah.
you see the major axis basically is on the y axis, because the A is greater than B. Clear? A is greater than B. I'll just show you.
Yes,
here.
sir.
Yeah. In this case, A is greater than B. Now the equation still remains the same. So x-axis, whichever you have the minor axis or major axis, doesn't matter. Whatever the distance is there on the x-axis, that will go as a reciprocal to the x-axis. So x square by b square. Look at this, because on the x-axis, your vertices are on the minus b and plus b. So x square by b square plus y square by a square is equal to 1. Clear this part?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Excellent. Now let's go to the next part. How will we derive the equation of the ellipse now? Clear? Okay, good. The equation of ellipse, let's derive it now. Draw the figure 11.27 now. 11.27. So we'll consider any point on the ellipse. That's called P. Any point on the ellipse. Let's assume that point is P, that is coordinate is x comma y.
Okay, sir.
Now,
Done.
as per the focus, we know that f1 is minus c comma 0 and f2 is c comma 0. Correct? So since we divide the Cartesian coordinate system, so equal distance, basically the coordinate will be minus c comma 0 and plus c comma 0. Now as per the the terminology of the ellipse, pf1 plus pf2 should be constant, and that we already figured out what is the constant now. It
Yeah.
should be equal to 2a. Correct?
Yeah.
So we already figured
sir.
out that pf1 plus pf2 should be equal to 2a. This is what is the condition for us, right?
Yeah.
So you get the distance formula for pf1. What is the pf1 value using a distance formula?
Formula, sir.
Square root of x minus x plus c whole square plus y square, correct?
whole root. Yeah.
Now equate it. Equate to the 2a. You should get like
So
this.
x plus a whole square plus y whole square equals 2a.
Excellent.
Wait, no, PF2 also.
Now transpose the x minus c whole square plus y square to the other side now. And then we'll do the square on the both the sides. Isn't it?
Yeah. So then that would be
Yeah. Transpose on the other side.
x plus c whole square plus y
Yeah.
equals 4a square minus 4a x minus c whole square plus y whole square.
Fine. So what will get cancelled? Cancel it out, and let's see what we'll get now. Finally, what do we get? Finally, whatever the root is there, you take the root on the one side, and remaining without root taken on the other side.
This is the formula.
Yeah, try it out. When you cancel the terms, you should be able to get this term, x minus c whole square plus y square under square root within the square root is equal to a minus c by a x. Just try, see if you get the same thing or not.
Yes, sir.
Then we'll check.
Yes, sir, I get that.
You got it now?
Yeah.
Excellent, Vijay. Now what we need to do, again you square on both the sides.
Okay, sir. Will be x square by a square plus y square by a square minus c square equals 1.
Excellent. Now you know that c square is equal to a square minus b square.
Yeah.
Substitute c square as a square minus, no, not serious. Yeah. C square is a square minus b square. You can substitute the c square as a square minus b square. You should get this term. X square by a square.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I get x square by a square plus y square by b square equals 1.
Yes, this is the actual equation of the ellipse. Got it?
Okay, sir.
This is the equation of
Yes,
the
sir.
ellipse which satisfy any equation, isn't it? Now you can derive in terms of, you can make any subject. So this is the standard form we represent all the time, the ellipse form, right? Correct. So P is given to the value, then we can easily find out that P is satisfies the equation 0 less than C less than A. That's fine. Okay. Now PF1, we can actually get the value of PF1 and PF2. Once you do that, you should get the 2A. That's part. This is fine. So we no need to do this part. Is just the justification part. So our goal is to get the equation of the ellipse only. After that, once we get the equation of once we know the A, B, C value, you can actually find everything in the ellipse, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. And all the time PF1 plus PF2 will be equal to 2A. All the time it will satisfy the equation. So nothing, we don't have to do that part right now. So let's go to the other part now. So that's fine. That's the standard equation. We got it now. It will be always less than equal to 1. So x square is less than equal to x less than a. Okay, fine. Now let's come to this conclusion now. Px square. So what was that? Less than equal to 1. Okay. So one more condition we need to evaluate in this part. Discussion, right? Let's do discussion part now. From the equation of the ellipse obtained, it follows that every point on the ellipse we have x square by a square is equal to 1 minus y square by b square. It will be always less than equal to 1. Let's understand this part, okay? What does we mean to say here? I'll explain to you so that it will be clear to you. See, first let's try to understand this. So when we got the equation, now we make the x square by a square subject. So transpose y square by b square on the other side. So it will become 1 minus y square by b square, correct?
Yeah.
Now 1 minus anything will be always lesser than equal to 1.
Yes, sir.
1 minus anything will be always lesser than equal to 1.
Yeah.
So x square by a square is always less than equal to 1.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
So x square by a square will be always lesser than equal to 1. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So x square will be lesser than equal to a square. So x will be equal to plus minus a. So x should be greater than minus a, should be less than plus a, then x should lie between the minus a and plus a.
Yeah.
Example. Now let's understand this example. So x, so this is the distance. Okay, I'll just put it here and then tell you this part. This distance is minus a, and this distance is plus a. Minus a and plus a. Okay, so this part, let's try to the see. Yeah. Now understand this part now. So here x, we talked about x should be greater than minus a, it should be less than plus a. So x is nothing but any point on the ellipse. X is any point on the ellipse.
Okay.
Correct?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Understood this part?
Yes, understood.
Yeah. Now in this case, x is less than any point. So basically, any point on the parabola that will have the coordinate x comma y. So x will be always greater than minus a, it's greater than equal to minus a, and the less than equal to a, because it can, the point a and point b also satisfy the equation of the ellipse. So a is basically minus a comma 0, b is a comma 0. So they also lie on the ellipse. So that's why less than equal to and the greater than equal to sign coming. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Perfect. Now let's go to the latus rectum part now. Let's understand what is called latus rectum also. Draw the figure 11.28 now.
Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Now look at the latus rectum. What is latus rectum? It's a basically line segment perpendicular to the major axis through any of the foci. So you see the CD and the AB. CD and the AB are nothing but the latus rectums, correct? So CD and the AB are called the latus rectum of the ellipse. Clear?
Okay.
Now
Yes,
let's
sir.
define the let's define the length of the CD and the AB, because both are equal because it's symmetrical, isn't it? That is equal distance away from the center, right?
Yeah.
Now let's define the A. Length of the AF2 be the L. So what will be the coordinate of A? Let's define the, if I say the length of AF is L, isn't it? Now the coordinate of A will be C comma L, isn't it? Because C is nothing but the distance of the OF2. I'll just send you this part, so I'll just check this part. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So if I say that AF2 distance is length L, then the coordinate of A will be C comma L, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Right? And what is C? Let's understand the eccentricity. Remember, the eccentricity was defined as C by A.
A.
Correct? So
Yeah.
eccentricity was nothing but E is equal to A by, sorry, E is equal to C by A. Then C is equal to AE, correct?
Yeah.
C is equal to AE, right? Correct? Did you understand now this part?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Now, you know the equation of the ellipse. Just substitute the value of point A. It should satisfy the, any point on the ellipse, right? You know the equation of the parabola is this. So just substitute x, y as this parameter. X is basically AE and y is L. Then we'll get the value of AF2. Once we get the value of AF2, twice of AF2 will be latus rectum.
Okay, sir.
Understood this part? Try it out now.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Clear? Now what is the value of L you are getting now?
Yeah. Yeah. B square by A.
Excellent. B square by A. This big B square. So basically this B square by A what you are getting is nothing but AF2 value. So AF2 is nothing but B
So
square
the
by,
latus rectum would be 2B square by A.
yes. Excellent.
Okay.
So AF2, twice of AF2 will be equal to latus rectum. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
So 2b square by A will become the latus rectum, right? Okay, let's go to the example 9. Let's understand example 9 now.
I'll just attempt it, sir.
Yeah, let's try the example 9 now and then we'll try to understand.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, Tanisha. Hi. So, any questions, any doubts, Tanisha, for you on the
No,
let
sir,
me
I
see.
don't have.
Okay, so perfect. Now we need to go with the accounts for you, isn't it? Huh?
Yes, sir. So in accounts, can we start with chapter 7 as that will be part of the periodic test.
Oh, okay. No problem. We can do that. We can do that. Chapter 7. Hmm?
So
Yeah.
A is 5, B is 3,
Yeah.
C is 4, D
Correct
is 4
answer.
by 5, and L is 18 by 5.
Excellent. Superb. Yeah. You got it now. Excellent. Now
Hmm.
try as part of 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah. Try as part of homework, Vijay, this part. You know? And now your concept is clear
Okay,
now.
sir.
Just try one of those problems
Yeah.
in this. Then in case you have any doubt, but don't leave any examples in this part, okay? In case you have any doubts, we'll discuss
Okay,
them
sir.
together. You know. In the meantime, and think you can start with the example exercise 11.3 also, because all on the same range, nothing related. But visualize whenever you solve this problem. Try to visualize in terms of the geometrical figure, so that everything will be very clear to you.
Yes, sir.
Clear? Okay. Sure, Vijay. I think let's close it now. We'll continue. Okay.
Okay, sir. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.